So yeah, the lawnmower is in the shed. You're gonna have to raise it up a little bit. yeah. The lawn is like a field. Right, I know. Yeah, a lot of rain. Yeah. Hey. Oh, hey. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 13, Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That would be me. We are fueled by Gale's Gas Bars, powered by WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, supported by Sandra's Home Health Care, as well as Verge Insurance and Ace Alignment and Equal Wellness Services. We'll tell you about all those wonderful people as the show goes on. We're here in the lovely Fiddler's Poorhouse at 149 St. Paul Street in downtown St. Catharines. There, ladies and gentlemen, are your specials for today. You can get 75-cent wings, $10 poutine. You get PBR pitchers, doubles, pickle shots, and if you want a porn star, you can have one of those too. Not going to get too far into that one. Anyway, we have an interesting gathering coming up in Niagara, in Grimsby, as a matter of fact. June 21st, I think it gets started. Have you ever heard of the MENSA group? These are supposed to be like pretty smart people. Well, there's a group called MENSA Canada that is having a gathering a little later in the month. And we're going to be talking with one of their folks and find out all about that and some other things. There have been many break-ins and robberies and pictures and videos and crashes and stuff over the last week. It seems to have been a busier week on those things than maybe some other weeks. But we'll touch on a few of those things. In about 30 seconds, we'll get this ball rolling. Come on in. Hello, we're live here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. That is our very fancy schmancy set that we see there. Kevin Jack is that other buckaroo there in his fancy Gale's Gas bar hat, and our executive producer of the show, co-founder of WeeStream. We're going to be talking more about that. Kevin, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, obviously.
Yeah, doing great. How about you?
Fine. A little bit of golfing, a little bit of dodging raindrops, and where were you? Where were you on Sunday when that rain came tumbling down? It's been a long time. I think the last time I saw rain like that, strangely enough, I happened to be in Texas many years ago, and they have some massive rainstorms there. But I was on the Queen Elizabeth Highway, coming back from a weekend away in New York State. I'd crossed the Peace Bridge and I got not quite to Feulled Stone Road on the Queen E coming out of Fort Erie, and the traffic just stopped because of volume. I guess it was a big weekend around here, and then the rain came. And Kevin, I swear, by the time I got to Lake Street, which is my cutoff in St. Catharines that I take to go home, I couldn't see the road. That rain was so heavy, and it came in waves. Pardon the pun, but it did. You'd have a pocket of the, and then it would clear. Kind of slow down for a little while, and then you think, okay, that was that, and then bang, it started again. Man, that was some heavy rain. If you managed to survive in your home without a leak somewhere, you're good to go. You can probably live through any natural disaster and get through that. But that was some serious rain. And like I was saying to the staffer there on the phone, it's tough to get the lawn cut. Now you got some sunshine that we haven't seen in a few days. We got this sunshine now. It's going to.
Yeah. Apparently next week's supposed to be a scorcher.
Yeah,
that's what people are saying.
Hot weather is coming back.
Lee, let's kick off the show here with something that we should do, and we should do more often. Oh, here we go.
Tell everybody how to share this thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only
there's
here
the see, there's the thing right there.
Yeah, we're frozen in time right now.
Are we?
I don't know what's going
So
on.
actually, if you're on Facebook and you're watching the show, so Niagara 411, what we're going to do here is we're going to, oh yeah, it's got a little freeze going on
There we
there.
go. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to click on the share button
Yeah.
and say share now.
Okay.
Boom, there you go.
I should have refreshed mine, but why won't mine refresh?
I don't know, Lee. But all you
Right.
got to do is go to the top here, and you just got to tuck down on your phone.
Okay.
Get that little wheel going, and that should refresh. And then
Yeah.
you see, there we are right there. That's us 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you hit share, and we'd appreciate it if you did that.
Yeah, take a look at this one. Weird one out of Welland this morning.
There have been a lot of stories about people being on highways and byways heading in the wrong direction. But this is probably the first time it's happened in this kind of a situation. I don't know how you do this on Division Street Bridge in Welland, but this is what happened. If you're familiar with it, it's a one-way bridge. So a truck was going the wrong way on Division Street Bridge, struck a small car. Injuries are minor, and this was posted earlier, so the emergency services were on the scene at the time. And it was posted on Niagara 411. Hi, Nick, by the way. Nick, the harbinger of all things, Niagara 411. Jenna Lee Sloggett put this up. This is my boyfriend. He was the one in the car. Everyone's okay, no injuries, but it'll be backed up for a while. I'm assuming they've got it cleared away by now, but my boyfriend's car is totaled. And then, of course, there's all the, well, thanks that everybody's okay sorts of messages, and we always appreciate the fact that people are well wishers for folks involved in situations like this. And the car, that's a truck. That is a picture of the truck. And of course, when truck meets car, truck wins, inevitably. And there's another picture that is of the car. That's the car. So, a number of questions come to mind, of course. A, how much experience did this dude have that was behind the wheel of the truck? B, why did he end up going the wrong way on the bridge? I can see that you perhaps might make a wrong turn, but it's something that you should be, as a so-called professional driver, be on the lookout for, is how to follow the rules of the road and the signage that is there. And C, wouldn't you see on a bridge of that width, which is, it's not super wide, I'm familiar with the Division Street Bridge, why would you not be able to see the fact that you are headed toward another vehicle? Like, how do you miss that? That's what's got my head spinning. Now, with all due respect, I know that it was apparently the truck's fault, but
It is the one going the wrong way.
he is the one going, no, that's what I said, apparently. It's the truck's fault. But in both cases, even if you're going with all due respect and consideration of the fellow in the car, very traumatic experience. Nobody wants to go through that. I'm trying to envision a circumstance in which you wouldn't see someone coming directly at you. Maybe he did, but the truck didn't, or something.
The truck could not have been going very fast because, I mean, just to the left of this photo here is that intersection that I'm assuming it turned onto.
Yeah, now, you saw the truck that was damaged on one side, and this car is severely damaged and written off, I would think, as Jennifer said. Maybe they did try to avoid each other, and they caught fenders like that because they're both damaged on a corner as opposed to a head-on collision. They probably did try to avoid each other. And
Yeah, but like you were saying, you think you'd be able to just stop dead.
yeah, that's the thing.
You should be going too fast.
Anyway, I wish we could solve this issue of people going the wrong way on roads and highways and stuff. I mean, there was one up Toronto way where a guy was escaping from a robbery and trying to get away. I kind of get that that's going to happen, but I don't know. Can you imagine? I've been fortunate in my life, such as it is, to not have been in very many accidents, and anything that I might have witnessed or been involved in any way has been extremely minor, like a dent in a parking lot or something like that. But anybody that drives a vehicle for any period of time has had close calls, and I've had a few of those. And it seems to be getting worse, Kevin, with the amount of traffic, the speed that people are traveling, and I don't know. But going the wrong way on roads is just something somebody's not paying.
I mean, here's one, again, just from this morning. You want to talk excessive speed.
Yeah. They were conducting speed enforcement near Nugent Road in Port Colborne. Motorcycle observed at 120 kilometers an hour in an 80 kilometer an hour zone. The driver failed to stop, but the motorcycle identified, I don't understand, that's kind of weird, was observing, failed.
Yeah, the motorbike was identified. I mean, you look at this bike, right? And
the motorcycle was identified, okay.
Yeah.
So the driver was then later charged with dangerous operation.
Yeah, they caught up with him later, but there you go, 120 and an 80.
Yeah.
And failing to stop.
And at an intersection, when we are warned every time the spring season comes around to watch out for motorcycles, because there are so many motorcycle accidents because car drivers don't see them or don't pay attention to the fact that it's a much more vulnerable vehicle than a car is. But when somebody's riding a bike like that at that speed, you have no hope. If somebody hits you, you're done. You have to think your way through this stuff, people. Just a little aside. This seems to be an ongoing saga. We're still trying to follow the tale of Charlie the tortoise. Totally different topic, but Charlie is still missing. We still have not found the missing tortoise from the tortoise rescue farm.
Yeah,
Gone. Still gone. I feel sorry for Charlie and his
Lee, while you're on the topic, and sorry we didn't discuss this, but wanted to share this. This was from over the weekend up in Sunset Beach. In Port Weller,
right.
And it was a ride in honor of Marianne, and Marianne, part of a prominent family right here across Niagara, and she was on her motorbike, and it was reported on 411 as well about 2 weeks ago, on almost near my house, St. Paul and 3rd, and motorcycle v truck, and Marianne lost her life. And this was a ride on the weekend in honor and in tribute to her, and you could see how many people came out in solidarity, the motorbike community, and apparently that's something that she really loved to do, as a lot of motorcycle drivers do, right? They're enthusiasts.
Oh, of course.
And she was as well. So this was a ride in her honor on a Saturday. Apparently, it took some coordination involving the NRP and the community as well. So thanks to everybody.
I was unaware of that incident. So to Marianne's friends and family, of course, our sincerest condolences, and it's nice to see that kind of support. It is like a lot of people that are, to use your word, enthusiasts of any particular thing. Motorcyclists they're all somehow connected in spirit. It doesn't matter whether you're part of a club or a single rider or whatever. They're all part of a psyche. And I don't know if you've ever noticed it, if you watch motorcyclists, when they pass each other on the road, they always do this, but they put the hand out off one of the handlebars and just sort of acknowledge the other person going the other way. I think Corvette drivers do the same thing. So yeah, there's a spiritual connection for anybody that rides a motorcycle, and we do have to be careful of them. But then again, like in anything, there are always the goofs. like the guy going 120 clicks in an 80 kilometer an hour zone and not stopping at a sign. You can't fix stupid, but because sometimes stupid kills people, other people, and that's a serious problem. Speaking of serious problems, there have been a lot of posts over the past couple of weeks about break-ins and robberies, and there's photos of all sorts of people that we're trying to identify. And one of the most detailed posts came from this gentleman, Scott McVeigh. And what is on my mind? What the F is wrong with people? Man, is this city changing? I guess everything's changing. But he posted this, as it says there, as a precaution to fellow business friends and colleagues, etc. And to his credit, he said he didn't want it to be anything to do with race or whatever, which is, to his credit. But 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he runs a spa type business, and a couple comes in, man and woman, and they came around under the auspices of booking appointments to visit his spa. And again, they had a look around, kind of scoped out the place, and got a sense of the lay of the land and where things were, etc., etc. And then walked out with cash and product from his spa. They robbed him. And it said they escaped in what was a black Audi automobile, and it said it was plateless. So it had no license plate on it. So that is a pretty bold, daytime, right in your face, we want to come in and partake of your services. Can we have a look around? And then you're the victim of a robbery from a modern day Bonnie and Clyde, only without the violence. Thank goodness. But anyway, that's them. So keep an eye out for them, especially business people, because if they're going to try this at Mr. McVeigh's place, then they obviously have a strategy of how they want to case the joint, as the old expression used to be, and then walk away with your stuff and your money, if you have any. So keep an eye on that. Many other photos. We'll get to some of the, because we need your help, obviously, in trying to identify some of these people. Before we put up the next one and talk about the next one, though, I do want to mention our sponsors once again. I want to thank Gales Gas Bars for always being a part of this as our major keynote sponsor for the program. And Pride Month is upon us here in June in Niagara, and probably all the way across the country as well. And of course, they are known as a safe place for. They were designated. Kevin, help me out. My mind just went crazy. What is the term?
I can't remember exactly.
Isn't that? Anyway, they've been acknowledged as a business that is a safe place for all creeds, colors, LGBTQ plus creeds, religions, etc. For not only employees but also the public, designated by the Chamber of Commerce of Ontario for being one of those designated locations and supporting all cultures and all stripes of our citizenry. So congratulations on that again. And thank you for your service to Niagara, to all of us. 41 convenience stores and gas stations across Niagara. Also, thank you very much to Sandra's Home Health Care. They do health care differently than perhaps your average PSW might do it. They can take you from the hospital hustle to the comfort of your own home and They'll manage medication. They'll manage healthcare services that you require, sometimes 24/7, if that is what is required. It's almost like you're being looked after by family when you go to Sandra's Home Healthcare Services. Rehabilitation programs as well. They try to match their clients with their customers and with their service workers, et cetera, so that there's kind of a kumbaya kind of relationship between Sandra's Home Healthcare Services and their clients. So we thank them for being a part of this program, and this is going to become an even more important service as time goes by, because our population is aging. We need more help. There are so many different kinds of healthcare that's required, and they're right on the doorstep, being located in the hospital on 4th Avenue, part of the Greater Niagara Health Services in St. Catharines there. Also, Verge Insurance Group, for whatever kind of insurance need you have, be it home, be it car, be it life, be it business. If you have an insurance need, or even want to determine if you have an insurance need, check out Verge Insurance Brokers Limited, also a born and bred Niagara company. Ace Alignment, also, thank you for being a part of this program. And it's a very cozy location that they have there. It's not a huge place, but man, do they do great work. They're on North Street in St. Catharines, right behind the police station. It's located on Welland and Geneva. North Street is just a little bit south of Welland Avenue, as a matter of fact. So drop in and see Darren Miller and Matt Crompton. They're mechanics, and they'll treat you well. Speaking of Equil Wellness Services, an organization formed by Audrey Wall, the foot nurse, as she is known all over Niagara. High quality foot care, even diabetic foot care as well. They have postgraduate education, educated people in foot care, toenails, calluses, corns, other foot-related issues. And here's something else, too, that I came across on one of their pamphlets. During and after cancer treatments, it's amazing what that horrible C word can do to people. There are often movement and sensation issues involved in that situation. Numbness, tingling or pain, peeling, raw feeling skin, and it doesn't sound pretty to talk about, and it isn't, but all of these things require care, and it affects the feet as often as anything else. So they can look after people that are going through those kinds of things as well. So they're located on Vine Street, 365 Vine Street. They have a sign now up. They were so new for the first couple of weeks that we were sponsored. They didn't have a sign up. She's got a sign that you can see at 365 Vine Street between Scott and Carleton in St. Catharines. So to all of those sponsors, to all of those people we were talking about, we really do appreciate the fact that you support us with your wallets and purses and bank accounts, and it's very important. And we're very proud of the fact as well that we deliver the goods when it comes to value for your hard-earned dollar as a sponsor of this program. Kevin, I think we tallied up a couple of weeks ago what the previous show to that had done. You and I were chatting a little bit earlier as to the show we did 2 weeks ago. I think it was May 29th or whatever that show was that we did. And our Facebook numbers tell us that we reached and were viewed by, or whatever the social media lingo is, more than 70,000 people. That's almost hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, look at this here. Just the one about Charlie the Tortoise, 16,000 views. Yeah. Emma Van Dyke, our Paralympian from Port Colborne, 15,000
views.
There's Dabrowski with the very successful Comic-Con this weekend.
Yeah.
10,000 people viewed that.
And the entire program itself was over 15.
Absolutely.
When we were talking about the Planetary Parade, Scott Sutherland, 10,000 views.
11,000 on the show. So, I mean, you add all that up, and we quickly surpassed 75,000 views just on last show.
Yeah, there were on the total show, there were 15, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, we're happy about it, but we're also pretty proud of it. And this thing was the brainchild of that other guy on the screen there in the fancy Gales hat. So tell us about WeeStream while we're talking about this. Kevin Jack is the co-founder, along with Brandon Scram of WeeStream, Canada's premier streaming service.
Yeah,
and it was born out of a need. I'll get to you in a sec, Kev. Sorry, I brought you in and then I shut you up. But it was brought about because of a need, because of COVID. And COVID really screwed up a lot of businesses, and it really screwed up a lot of aspects of the economy. But it also necessitated the fact of people coming up with new ways to do business. And that's what you did.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of looked at the landscape, and like a lot of people, COVID jammed me indoors, and I said, well, I got to get out, and what can I do? And I guess I can create content. So I pulled on a lot of the talent pool that was here in Niagara that was also sitting on their hands and said, hey, let's get together, put something out there, and show people what an affordable, sustainable model of news delivery could look like.
Yeah.
And this is what it looks like, Lee. So thank you for that. Recently on the weekend, we were out at Sir Winston, as we were subcontracted by another streaming company to live stream a dance recital. Mm-hmm. So we were happy to do that. Coming up next week, I'll be way up in Midland. Going up to Midland.
Cottage country.
Yeah, to help the Denturists Association of Ontario with their AGM.
Okay.
So if you're involved in a small corporation, maybe a not-for-profit, AGMs become a difficult task because people want to be able to attend in person, but they are also looking to be able to attend remotely, and we can pull all that technology together, and that's what we're doing up in Midland. And we're also going to be working with the city of Port Colborne for their big media launch for Canal Days.
Right.
And that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, we're here, there, and everywhere.
Okay. And happy that we can share this time. We always have a blast doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This program.
Lee, you talk about views. This next video, we were just looking at it before the show. Mm-hmm. It's got over 40,000 views already. It's the theft.
The roses.
This one's insane.
What sort of non-human would be a better way to put it, cretin does this? Now what you're watching is a woman walking by a private property at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. This happened at like 12:42 a.m. Walking by this yard where the owner, the resident, has a reputation for growing absolutely beautiful roses on her property. And this woman, casually as you please, like she's shopping at Seaway Gardens or something, walks by and cuts off the blooms. And apparently this isn't the first time. This is the third time this person has done this. Oh, the humanity. It just is so unbelievable that someone has the nerve to do that. Watch this again.
Yeah, she's shopping. You're right. She looks like she's at Niagara Nurseries.
She's just kind of waltzing by. And, these are pretty. I'm going to grab some of these and we'll go to the checkout and pay for them. Not. We'll just cut them off.
Yeah, it looks like she's rejecting some. Like,
I don't
want to steal that
I
one.
like that one over here and maybe. And it's not like a smash and grab. She is taking her own sweet time.
Building quite the bouquet.
There are a lot
Maybe
of...
she'll put in some requests. Could you add some baby's breath next time? And...
Yes. How about a vase? Leave a vase out for us to carry them home in.
It's nuts.
I mean, we see a lot of things on Niagara 411 that gives us increased faith in our fellow human. A lot of good news stories. There are many, many, many good Samaritan stories that come up on Niagara 411, and that's great to see. But these people, these people certainly balance the ledger on the other side.
Yeah. Well, this next guy's not exactly Citizen of the Year either.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah. Now, we take you now, ladies and gentlemen, to Antipasto's, a really popular food dispensary, supermarket, packaged foods, from scratch foods, and they have a place where you can actually buy prepared meals and have a lunch there as well. I mean, they do it all. If you're not familiar with Antipasto's, check it out. They're kind of on the service road near the highway off Martindale Road, and so a wallet. Somebody's sitting there having their lunch or whatever, and they have their wallet on the table. There you go. Now there's a dude that still can't figure out how to wear a baseball cap, but anyway, he walks by and grabs the wallet, looks at it to see how much money is in it, then puts it in his jacket pocket and walks away. Okay, so that's the genesis of the story, but the story goes on. Apparently, someone called Nick, hey Nick, hi, Nick's mom again, at Niagara 411 to report the fact that they had put the wallet in the mailbox of the wallet's owner, the person that the wallet belonged to. Because obviously you're going to have your identification in there, driver's license, whatever, your address. And this person told Nick that that he put it in this person's mailbox, returned the wallet. Well, then Nick follows up, contacts the fellow whose wallet it was, and the wallet was never dropped off. It was a lie. It was a fake story. So, as Nick said at the beginning of the post, what he thought was a done deal, the story was over and wrapped up, it's not. There's still the case of the missing wallet. Now, he was wearing a coat that says UBC Built, Carpenters Union Local 27. This is somebody that somebody knows, walking out with another somebody's wallet with their ID. And have you ever had your wallet go missing or stolen, Kevin? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, years and years ago. It's unnerving.
It's debilitating. That happened to me once when I was a member of a health club. And I guess as I remember it, I must have forgotten to put a lock on the locker or something like that. And my wallet was in the locker at this health club. And he didn't take my clothes, but of all things, this person stole my wallet and my belt. I don't know why you take somebody's belt. It's a nice belt, but still. And in that wallet was my entire life, including my birth certificate. So you talk about stealing somebody's identity. That's a perfect way to be able to do it, is by taking their wallet or purse or whatever. I found when I went to try to rebuild, and I never got it back. I never got the wallet back, didn't get the money, didn't get the cards, got nothing back. And I found out that when you go to try to rebuild your identity, and you only have a passport, now get this, I went to the Ministry of Transportation and all the rest to get driver's license renewed, and they said a passport is not good enough identification. Why? Apparently, they're too easy to copy. Have you ever heard that, Kevin?
No, I thought it was the most secure document.
I did too. I thought that was like the holy grail of identification, is if you had a passport. Apparently not.
Yeah, I figured that was the top of the pyramid. As long as you still had that, everything else would trickle down.
So I made a note to self once I got it renewed, is never carry your birth certificate around with you, unless you're traveling and you think you need it, etc. So when somebody's wallet, my point here is, there is no more feeling of being invaded than if that happens. If your personal stuff is taken. Steal a camera, steal a golf club, steal a thermos, whatever. Okay, it's not good, but you can get over it. But when your identity is taken, it bothers you. I remember having my car broken into one time, and my insurance and ownership of the vehicle was gone. And you're like,
Now, Lee, do you think the cell phone is the new wallet? I think I'd be in a harder spot if I lost my cell phone than if I lost my wallet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. For some people, it probably is that way. For others, maybe the only saving grace with a cell phone is that it should be password protected. Right. They should not be able to get into your phone.
No, but it's like a lot of the stuff with the wallet, right? You don't really care about the money; you just care about all the ID that's in there. Like,
well, now with this tap and go thing.
Right. Well, I'm saying is that I'm really concerned with just the stuff on the phone. The phone doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, right. You lose contact. I used to remember people's phone numbers.
Oh yeah, nobody does anymore.
I don't have to remember a phone number anymore.
No, nobody does.
So,
you barely know your own phone number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you steal somebody's wallet and they've got a Visa card or a bank debit card or something like that, and you can tap, you don't need passwords. You don't need codes. It really sucks.
Yeah, that was actually one of the 411 stories that I saw this week about somebody that did that stole some credit cards and was able to tap them.
Yeah.
At a couple of nearby.
Yeah.
Lee, just at the Law and Order Department, I reached out to Matt over at Bench Brewing Company,
right.
And he would have loved to come on the program today to talk about the vandalism that they've been victim of. But this is just an insane story.
Yeah,
just,
tell us about this. You're more familiar with this than I am.
Yeah, so Matt is pulled away. He's part of the Ontario Craft Brewers Association, and they're holding their AGM like right now.
Okay.
Otherwise, he would have joined us on the program. But yeah, I mean, this is targeted vandalism out at Bench Brewing. And here, Lee, I'll let you read the story.
All right, so here you go. Grimsby detectives are investigating the damage that Kevin was just alluding to. Began investigating in relation to the property damage at Bench Brewing. It's on King Street in the town of Lincoln. Now, the investigation, if you want to scroll up there, Kevin, so if people can follow along for us, thanks. Again, an early morning incident. An unidentified suspect on a dark-colored ATV that you saw the picture earlier drove on the Bench property and intentionally spread a liquid that killed a large amount of grass. The cost to replace the grass has been estimated at $70,000. The suspect in the ATV that was equipped with a liquid distribution tank. Who has one of those? Has been captured on that video that you saw shots of. He was observed traveling south on Maple Grove Road at that, like 5-ish in the morning. Detectives asking that residences in the area check their surveillance or dash cameras so that if you can be of assistance, contact the police.
Here's where it gets even more insane.
Now, they determined that an incident with a similar unidentified suspect occurred at the Bench Brewing Company on August the 1st, 23, between the hours of, around 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, the cost to repair the damaged grass in that incident was $50,000. So, between August of 23 and June of 24, there's been like $120,000 worth of damage done in the same fashion to the same company. There has to be something personal behind this, Kevin. There has to be. He was wearing all black clothing, black helmet with a face shield. It appears to be a gray or green vehicle, 3 headlights, and a large liquid herbicide container/sprayer attached to the back of it.
Yeah, so I mean, this is targeted vandalism. Somebody
out
there is a real hate on.
It's definitely
for the Bench Brewing Company.
It's an ex-employee, or it's
has to live somewhat close by. I mean, I don't know how far at 3 and 5 in the morning you're going to take your ATV.
Yeah.
Just
why?
Yeah, why? I mean, somebody just I don't know, do they live nearby and they love the peaceful and tranquility that it brought until what? Until Bench Brew? If anything, Bench Brewing and some of the other Redstone and some of the other properties right there on King Street, along in the Bench area, they've made it much more desirable. It's great through there.
Why the grass? What does that
I don't
accomplish? What does that accomplish? Other than just, I guess, being mean, and that must be your intent, is to be mean because you feel wronged or you got something against that business for some reason. Now Kevin, this is so targeted. This is so specific, especially to happen twice, that investigators have to be able to somehow build a timeline of people involved with the business or something, ex-employee, something like that. Then they're going to catch this person, one would hope. Of course, they haven't since August 1st, 2023, so I could be wrong. It's been known to happen.
And in talking to Matt yesterday, who again was very apologetic that he couldn't join us on the show, he said, yeah, I've seen the whole video. Like, I've got the entire thing on video. I sat there and watched, probably in disbelief and horror, for the 20 minutes as this guy just spread, I don't know, fertilizer, weed killer, whatever he's got in that tank, for no other reason other than just to be destructive.
Well, it could be something as simple as motor oil, like just spreading stuff all over because it happens.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the
wow,
the Ken Salvage one.
Oh yeah, there's another.
Because that one
I was going to say there's another good one. There's another good bad one to highlight here. While Kevin's doing that, he's there. Okay. I wanted to mention just before we do talk about this, have a look at that shot. And we'll talk more about it in just a few seconds. I did want to mention that our guest coming up today is Jennifer Albu. She is the organizer of the Grimsby MENSA Canada Annual Gathering. It's happening in Grimsby, but it's the MENSA Canada Annual Gathering from June 21st to 23rd. And we're going to be finding out more about that whole organization and what it is and what it means, because over our lives we always hear about MENSA members. And it's, Kevin, define it for us. She will do a better job, but you are actually a member of this organization.
Yeah, and that's why I really wanted to bring it to the program, because they had their annual gathering, I think, in around 2010 in Niagara Falls. And at all their annual gatherings, there's an opportunity for the public, if you've ever wanted to be tested to see if you can qualify and get into MENSA. There's an opportunity at their annual gathering. Yeah. There's other ways to do it.
It's an organization for brainiacs is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I wrote it, I think, around 2010, maybe it was 2012, and I got in.
I'd still like to know how you passed the damn thing.
I don't know either. I just guessed. when in doubt, pick C. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an opportunity again for the public. And there's opportunities for people like myself and my good friend James Little, who's also a member of MENSA, to go down and enjoy some of the other events that are taking place.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mensans from not just Canada. In fact, they come in these annual gatherings. Sometimes people use it as an opportunity to vacation in a destination, right?
No, so I don't want to minimize your accomplishment at all, not even a bit. Anyway, Jennifer's going to be here to talk more about that. And if you want to ask a question or something, you can do that. We'll review how you can participate in the program too in just a bit. But here we go. Now this is Ken's Salvage. You might have seen some posts on Niagara 411 because he participates on Niagara 411. Nick promotes his business sometimes as well. But Ken Salvage is a very well-known Niagara business. Now here is a break and enter for the ages, because once again they have video of everything. Nothing, they say nothing good happens at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's kind of true. 2:18 a.m. A dark-colored sedan drops off a couple of goons at Allenberg Road in Feulled. That's where Ken Salvage compound and office is. They have their faces are covered. They got a bag and a hammer, and then the car is seen turning down Clara Street, where it does a U-turn and just sits there and waits. It's a getaway car. So, two guys approach the building, break the glass in the front door, enter the building. In less than 2 minutes, they made off with a sizable amount of cash and stuff. So, they obviously knew what they were looking for, where they were going, and who they were robbing. And here is, you'll see them. Oop. Here we go.
You can see it here.
Yeah, there's the car. There's the guys. And they're bolting to exactly, they know exactly where they're going. Smash the door, and they bash their way in through the glass, broken glass on the door. And then less than 2 minutes. So, I mean, they weren't in there just to kind of have a look around to see if there was anything cool to take. They knew exactly where they were going and what they wanted. Inside job. Customers that, as we were talking about earlier in another incident, maybe cased the joint, scoped it out, and knew where to go, and they came back and broke in the middle of the night. Who knows how criminals think and what their plans are and where they come from. But anyway, sorry, Ken, that that happened. Again, it's such a feeling of violation, and especially since you have pretty darn good surveillance equipment, as obviously Ken's Salvage does, and other businesses have good surveillance. But I don't know about maybe not the alarm systems, maybe not the alerts that would be helpful. But then again, they were in there in less than 2 minutes, so even if there was some sort, and maybe there is an alarm system there, I'm not totally familiar with the security services or stuff that Ken Salvage has. Maybe they do have an alarm system, and that's why they got in and out in 2 minutes, just in case.
Yeah, Lee, I mean, it's always easy to harp on businesses for not having clear enough security cameras or security footage or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought Ken's was pretty good, especially that's
It
2
did
in the
look pretty
morning.
good.
But boy, oh boy, this one that the NRP threw out, and again, it's not the NRP, but from the Penn Center, I mean, I was just, just here for the comments.
Identify this one. When I saw this, first of all, I clicked on the picture and tried to make it bigger because I thought, well, maybe just the way it showed up on Facebook. If you enlarge, like if you click on the picture and make it bigger, maybe the face is there.
Right.
Not so much. So identify this person. Okay. Now this person is using, going back to what we were talking about earlier about stolen wallets, stolen credit cards and debit cards and things of that nature to try to get money and product from various businesses. Unfortunately, we don't have an image of the suspect's face. No, we don't. But hopefully somebody can identify. He has very nice hands. Maybe somebody knows those hands. He's not wearing any rings. There's not a tattoo in sight there, so not a lot to go on from an identification perspective other than he's wearing a backpack type arrangement and has a blue hoodie or sweater on. So
Not much to go on there.
that's all we got. That's all we got. This is Season 5, Episode 13 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. That would be me. We are fueled by Gale's Gas Bars, as they have been fueling Niagara for well over 50 years and probably well over 50 to come. Also supported by Sandra's Home Healthcare, personal service workers style healthcare like family. 24/7 if necessary. Medication, rehabilitation, so many, the wide range of needs that are out there. And Sandra's Home Healthcare Services can provide those. And one of the things that they provide so well is a transition from the craziness of a hospital to the security and the comfort of your own home. They can manage all that. They're located, by the way, right in the big Niagara Health Services Hospital on 4th Avenue in St. Catharines. So thank you, Sandra, for being a part of the show. Verge Insurance Group, Mark Shirk and Blake and the gang down there, thank you for any and all of your insurance needs to get the best price for whatever sort of insurance need you have, home, business, car, life insurance. You can, kind of a one-stop shop there. They'll get you what you need. Also, I want to thank Ace Alignment, Janice Purdy and her gang at Ace Alignment. They've been serving Niagara for so long. Wheel alignments and brakes and MTO inspections and just about anything for your car, truck, SUV, specialty vehicle, whatever, at Ace Alignment on North Street in St. Catharines. Runs just off Geneva, right behind the police station at Welland and Geneva. Just tucked back in there, nice and cozy. So Ace Alignment, thank you so very, very much. And Equal Wellness Services. Audrey, the foot nurse, has opened her new location on Vine Street, 365 Vine Street, in a sort of a strip plaza there, catering to all sorts of health and wellness needs. And while her forte, the beginnings of her business and what she's famous for around the area is foot care, all kinds of foot care, including diabetic foot care, etc. She has expanded her wellness services clinic, and there is space for other health practitioners that might fit that mold. In other words, reflexologists, naturopaths, homeopaths, dermatologists, etc. She has two clinic rooms available for these type of practitioners to move in and be a part of Equal Wellness Services Clinic. So if you know someone that is in that field, or any of those fields, or you are perhaps, reach out to Audrey at Equal Wellness Services on Vine Street, and she has room for you. At least she did the last time I talked to her, which was about a week ago. So check it out. And of course, Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, producer of this program and co-founder of WeeStream, Canada's premier streaming service. Always a pleasure to be a part of that. And Fiddler's Poorhouse. This Kevin showed you the wide shot of our set there a little while ago. There it is again for you. Come on in. They have all kinds of great specials. It's a fun place. And look at the brand new chairs. Ooh, we have brand new chairs we're sitting on. That's cool. Great food, good people.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up the post here, and I'm just coming across it now from Sandra's Home Healthcare, because they did a great thing and gave back to the community that they serve, and we encourage everybody to do that.
We wanted to talk about that because it's a massive gesture. Of course, people in Niagara are familiar with Shaver, and at Sandra's Home Healthcare, they really do kind of put their money where their mouth is. That's Sandra in the reddish dress. I know that color's not called red.
That's it. That's a fuchsia.
Fuchsia? That's pretty good. That's probably pretty close to what it is. And they donated. They meaning Sandra. Sandra donated a really valuable piece of equipment to Hotel du Shaver. It's a Riften tram. Now, I didn't know what this was. But as it says a little further along in the post, it's an innovative device that offers not just one, but Kevin, there you go, thank you, but 3 different functions. I couldn't remember exactly either, in one. It's one convenient tool, and it's all about making life easier and more comfortable for those undergoing rehabilitation at Shaver, and they're just proud as punch, and they should be, to have been able to contribute to such a great cause. And that's the unit right there. As a matter of fact, I have a very close friend that is rehabbing from having broken her leg in a few places a number of weeks ago, and she is in Shaver right now going through rehab. So we wish her well if you're catching this program.
Yeah, Lee, I'm still waiting for MENSA Canada. Apparently, maintaining interviews and schedules probably isn't their forte because a lot of the brains work in different funny ways.
I just realized what time it's getting to be. It's already about 5 to 1 now.
Yeah,
time is flying here. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is how you can participate in the program. One of the things that Kevin and I would both, to be very honest and open about it, is to include a little bit more participation on a live show basis. Like this is live, it's happening in the moment, real time. And it would be great if you could participate when you feel the need, because you know as well as I do, you're watching a show or you're watching something on social media, and you have something to say, and you're saying it to yourself, or you're saying it to a person that you're with, but you can say it to us in all of Niagara. You can share with all of us in Niagara what it is you would like to say or promote, because that avenue is open for you as well. All you have to do is click on the link that is included in this stream that you're watching right now. That link it's a Zoom style link, and you'll go into our green room, otherwise known as a waiting room. Kevin will make sure that we've got you nailed down, and your video's working and your audio's working, et cetera, and then we can have a face-to-face conversation. And we would love to see more of that style participation in the program. Think of it, you know what a live radio talk show is like. This is like that, only with pictures. And you don't have to worry about not talking about the theme that we're involved with at any given moment in time. You can go outside the box and let us know. You have an event coming up, you have a business you want to promote, it's all fair game. Because, as we've already established, the reach of this program is significant. So if you want to make an impact, feel free to come on and talk to us about it, all right? Whatever. If you have information about something, because a lot of times we ask a lot of questions, and we don't always have the answers. But we're pretty darn sure that somebody in the community, somebody within our reach, within this program's scope, somebody has the answers to all of these questions. And the thing that gets us the most are the people that we have tracked, Kevin, for so long that are still missing and unaccounted for. That is so unnerving, because the friends and the family of these people that have been missing them for so long, even if it's a week, even if it's not so long, it's heart-wrenching. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I still get posts probably every couple of weeks from the Nicholas Adamson group.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic.
Parents and friends still wondering, saying, somebody knows.
Yeah.
And we just have no answers.
On that night before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, going on 2 years now. It'll be
Yeah.
over 2 years
Yeah.
that Nicholas Adamson just vanished into the night.
Yeah, it was 2022?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee, you mentioned earlier in the program that, we also like to focus on good news stories, or people
Yep.
out there must know something.
Absolutely.
This is kind of a bad news, good news story about the guy who lost his walker.
Yeah, this is this is kind of like Charles Dickens. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. This is, as Kevin says, good news, bad news story. This person who posted this, her father's 78 years old, has a walker that he requires, but he leaves it at the bottom of his steps outside so he can use railings or whatever to get down to that, and then use the walker to be mobile. So the walker disappears. Now, kudos also to the person that posted this, saying it might have been just a misunderstanding, because a lot of times people will put something on a curbside for giveaway, as opposed to throwing it in the garbage or having the city haul it away or something. They'll put things, and often, because especially if they're metal, they'll put them on the side of the road, and
It'll look after itself.
Yeah, people assume that it's there for the taking.
Right.
So they're assuming that maybe this is what happened in this case. They're not accusing anybody, but the walker's gone. Will it come back? Probably not. And that's the bad news. The good news is the fact that after this went up on 411, the community has stepped up. The Niagara 411 community has stepped up and offered all kinds of support and help for this gentleman, and that's where the sort of glow comes in, and we're very, very happy that we are able to put these stories out there for you to know about. And Nick loves those stories as well because he deals with a lot of car crashes and hit and runs and fires and the downside of daily life in Niagara and elsewhere for that matter. But it's always nice. I guess that's an overused word too, but it's always nice to be able to hear about something nice.
Another nice story coming right here from Niagara, and it's the same premise, Lee, as they had their tent out at the curb in preparation of the big Mountain View fundraiser, the Mountain View Lemonade Day on Saturday right across Niagara. So they were prepping, and well, somebody took the tent and left a note. Did you see this one?
I did. I didn't see the note. I quickly went by. Thank you for this tent.
Thank you for this tent.
Because they thought, apparently, that it was there for the taking.
It was at the curb. And there's, a typical 10 by 10 pop-up tent.
Yeah, it's a display tent.
Right, so they were setting it up to the lemonade stand the next day, and somebody took it. Well, the good news is that it got returned.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, the tent got returned. It's in another post, but this is the original post of it missing. And then the next day.
And then when they realized it wasn't supposed to have been taken, they brought it back.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, isn't that a great story?
It is. What we're waiting for is Jennifer Albu, and who knows what she might have been
called away to something.
Caught in the middle of that. She was supposed to be joining us about 12:45, but she is the organizer of the MENSA Canada annual gathering. It's taking place is it the Casablanca?
Yeah, it is taking place
Grimsby?
at Casablanca in Grimsby.
Yeah.
And here, let's just see if I can pull up information from their website.
And since we teased you on it, just in case she doesn't find herself free to be able to get in touch with us, it's June 21st to 23rd. And the cool thing about it is the fact, Kevin mentioned this earlier, is the fact that they have testing available on Saturday. So you can go in there, and if you've often thought that, hey, I'm maybe a little smarter than the average bear, but I'm not sure, you can actually go in and get tested.
Yeah, so let's see here. Activities, registrations, schedule, speakers. There you go. Take the MENSA qualification test. So there you go. 2 testing sessions for the general public will be offered on Saturday, June 22nd at 1 o'clock and 1:30 p.m. All right, 3 tests are available. A written pictorial test.
A written pictorial test.
Yeah, pictorial.
What is a written pictorial? Isn't that a bit of a contradiction in terms?
All questions are numbers, diagram, or pictures. No language knowledge is required. This is a timed test.
Okay. A written pictorial test. Those are 2 different things in my mind.
So that's just some of the youngsters, I think, Lee. Like, there are Mensans, and just, when you're a member of Mensa, that's what you are. You're a Mensan. And there are Mensans that are 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah. Well, you're one.
Well, at heart. I'm a Mensan that got in, I think, in his early 40s.
Written, and then number 2 is a written traditional test, minimum age 14, available in English and French, and that's a timed test as well. And then there's an online traditional test, minimum age 14, available in English, French, and Spanish, a timed test as well. You must bring your own laptop to these sessions. So there it is. Mensa.ca is the main website, and then / take the test.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
10 years of age or older. It is a fee of $90. I don't believe that there's a discount at the annual gathering, but $70 for students with a valid ID, university, college, high school.
Now, where, Kevin, you may know this, assuming there is no national gathering like this. Right. Oh, online testing available. That just answered my question.
Yes. There's online testing available. And then you could also, there are various tests throughout the year.
Right.
I mean, what do they say? MENSA Canada provides a letter to candidates indicating the results as a percentile for those scoring 85% or higher. I think you had to get in the 98th percentile.
Yeah. So would the test be the same today as it was when you took it? When did you take it?
I think it was 2012.
Okay.
And would it be exactly the same? It's hard to say. I mean, I'm
Probably
hoping that
not.
it's not exactly the same.
No, because then it would be too easy.
Yeah, you could just keep
pass
doing it
on
over
the
and over.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. I got a copy of the test. You want it?
There you go. In-person testing can also be arranged in many other communities. So here you go. In Ontario, Grey Bruce, Hamilton, Kingston, Kitchener, London, Ottawa, Toronto, Waterloo, Windsor. So that means there's somebody, a proctor, willing to do it in the Hamilton area.
Okay, so I have a feeling we're not going to be hearing from Jennifer. So let's talk about this for a minute.
Right.
Because these are questions I would ask her. Why is there a MENSA organization? What's the point?
Vanity.
That's it?
I don't know. Well, you can imagine that pre-social media,
Yeah.
it was like a lot of other service clubs. It was an opportunity for like-minded people to get together. It's
Okay.
just that the tie that binds here is that,
Is some sort of intellectual ability.
yeah, you excel academically. I will be the first to say that these tests are not, to me, the end-all of intelligence.
Right.
I believe they are heavily skewed towards mathematics and analytical thinking. And to me, that does not define intelligence. There are a lot of people.
It's not like an IQ test.
It is. They say
But
it's
it
an
is
IQ.
like an IQ
They
test.
say it's an IQ test, and to be perfectly honest, I think IQ tests skew towards analytical thinking, mathematics.
Right, okay.
Whereas I know a lot of very, very smart people where those two categories are not their forte.
So basically, we're talking about that, what we have come to know as STEM.
Pretty much.
Science, technology,
Exactly. Engineering, mathematics.
engineering, mathematics.
Right. And I would say that the tests are heavily weighted
Okay.
in that area.
All right.
And don't deviate much from that. And we all know very, very smart people. And I'll tell you, if it was only Mensans running the world, we wouldn't have a lot of the artistry, a lot of the creativity. We would fail in so many ways that
Right brain,
other,
left brain.
right, other very,
Yeah.
very smart, high-functioning people excel at. It's just that they would probably fail this test.
Something that I heard fleetingly, and I don't know the details of the story, or the process or program or whatever, but as I understand it, there is going to be a financial literacy component added to our education system.
That'd be good.
Because one of the biggest problems that has been identified is that people go through our education system, be it elementary school, high school, even university, whatever, post-secondary education, without really being taught how the economy works, how money works, how to handle things, understanding how investment works and things. It's just financial knowledge. And it's not taught in schools. Never has been, but apparently it's going to be. There's going to be some sort of financial literacy component, as I understand it. And I don't know when, and I don't know how, but added into our education vernacular somewhere. So
Yeah, I like that.
I
There's
thought that
always-
was great news.
There's always a funny meme where it's like, I'd like to thank my grade 8 teacher for teaching me all the shapes during this year's pentagram season.
Yeah.
Really came in handy.
Yeah. So,
Thank you, geometry teacher.
well, we have a lot of issues to address in the education system. I mean, the last one that we heard about was the cell phone debate. Should cell phones be allowed in schools? Should students be allowed to have them or access them? And it's become a real issue. That one. There are others. Do we teach phonics or whole reading? Remember that debate? Phonics or whole reading? I learned to read, and I learned words from phonics. I remember when I was a kid in elementary school, there was a huge banner across the blackboards at the top of the room. Now I'm going back a ways. And they had the phonics combinations, like the PHs and all those combinations up on and it was there forever. And I thought, my youngest son had an issue with the whole reading concept, which is what they called it at the time. You sort of learn by doing, and they totally got rid of the whole phonics thing. I think he would have benefited. He's cool now, everything's fine, but he would have benefited at a young age if there had been more of a phonics component in the system. And I don't know. People that know much more than I determine the various criteria for what is in the education system. But I think sometimes we throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say.
Lee, speaking of our education
I was
system,
going to go there.
Yeah, well then you can go there, because annual tradition here for high schoolers across Niagara is, I think it's the first Friday in June. It's Beach Day.
And I was unaware of this because I don't have school-aged children, and no need for me to be aware of it. But Beach Day is apparently like it's an unscheduled day off.
Yeah.
For students around Niagara.
Yeah, and they all skip, and a lot of them here in St. Catharines end up either in Port Dalhousie or at Sunset Beach.
Yeah, and Sunset Beach is just a stone's throw, or right beside
the Valley Restaurant.
The Valley Restaurant.
And just, I know a lot of people know them, but Nadia and Alan, Valley Restaurant, and also Cafe Amore.
Yeah,
I had the
Valley
pleasure
Restaurant.
of coaching their son in hockey about 10 or 15 years ago,
Cool.
so got to know the family. Just great people, and that's why their businesses have been able to sustain for so long here in Niagara. Just fantastic people. And now, I mean, it doesn't even sound like Nadia is that upset in the note that she leaves here, and I'll throw it up here.
So
now, Lee, I can read just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And this is from Nadia. Hi there, just wanted to share something in the hopes of getting it back.
And as you can see there, and the reason we read things when you can read them yourself, also just to let you know, is we do a podcast version of this show where it is audio only. So for the people that do listen in podcast form, that's why we read what's on the screen. But the Valley Restaurant has been in Port Weller for over 70 years. It used to be called the Valley Inn. I still call it that sometimes, as opposed to just the Valley Restaurant. I still think of it as the Valley Inn. And it had Lily Cottage on the property. As years went on, the cottages were taken down to build the condos that are now behind the restaurant. The Valley Inn then had to change its name to just the Valley Restaurant so that they could comply with Liquor Control Board rules. We had the last key to cottage number 6 hanging in a shadow box in the foyer as a piece of memorabilia, a souvenir of the days of the Valley Inn. That was hanging in this shadow box. Sorry, I had a tickle. in the foyer of the restaurant. Yesterday, obviously the day before this post, was what they refer to as ditch day. In other words, they ditch classes to take a day off. So the high school students, they skip school, they head to Sunset Beach. It's always busy. And the Valley Restaurant reached out on that day, and do every year. They let them use washrooms in their facilities, etc. They hand out water, give them shelter when it rains. Even a group of you cut French fries, or gave you French fries, excuse me. So the students were well behaved. The only problem is that somebody took the key. And as Kevin was saying, they're not heartbroken, but it kind of
back. I mean, yeah, the language
kind of gives you a bit of a twinge.
Which you can't read at the end there. I'm assuming it's just a mistake and you are not aware of what this means to us. The key will not open anything in the city, just the door to history.
Yeah.
I am asking anyone who knows about this if you could please return it to us. Thank you, Nadia. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they get it back.
And thank you for the polite post, Nadia, that I'm assuming that it doesn't really match how you feel about it. You're probably pretty pissed, frankly, that this was stolen. And I acknowledge the fact that maybe that you wrote maybe it was taken by mistake. But if it's in a glass case on a wall in the foyer of a business, it's kind of tough to make a mistake and walk out with it. Now, the mistake might have been, as she alluded to, that they thought the key had some significance, i.e. maybe opening the door of the restaurant, but I think that would be a stretch as well, to even be thinking that. It was just, it seems to me like just a case of vandalism, really, pure and simple. So, if you know somebody, or you're the person that just wanted to create some havoc and take a little piece of memorabilia and a piece of history, give it back. Okay? Give it back. And in the meantime, if you've never tried, sorry, Kev, in the meantime, if any of you have never tried the Valley Restaurant, make reservations and go. So, what were you were going to wax philosophic on something there a second ago, and I cut you off.
Oh, not necessarily waxing philosophic, but I did want to let you know that it looks like we have connected with Jennifer. Oh, she was just on the screen there.
Oh,
and we'll see if we can get her back. Jennifer Albu from MENSA Canada.
Okay.
And, she was in, and then she left.
She's gone.
So I don't know exactly what's going on there. You know what? Then in the interim, I'll throw this one up because this one, while the theft of the key from the Valley Restaurant was probably more vandalism, this one seems targeted and definitely an abuse of trust.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this one. It looks like it was and I'm just pulling Jennifer into the program here.
All right.
So we can rip through this quickly, but it seems as though the cleaning lady, sorry for lack of a better term, stole from one of her clients, missing jewelry and stuff like that.
Now, as a result of the investigation into this...
Yeah, here you go. It was determined that a house cleaner allegedly stole the items from the residence.
Okay. But they arrested somebody for this.
Yeah, they did. I think her name...
Robin North.
Robin North, yeah. Robin North right there.
Yeah. I've often thought that too. People place all sorts of other people in positions of trust with their belongings and access to their residences and things like that. And you wonder if people go through your stuff when they're cleaning your house, or you have company over. Do you ever wonder if you have company over and they go through your bathroom cabinets when they're in there? You ever wonder that? I wonder if when they go to the bathroom they're checking out the cupboards.
I just do it.
I always wonder that. Do my friends check out my bathroom cabinets? I don't know. AG 2024, The Magic of Movies, June 21 to 23. The Magic of Movies. Do we have Jennifer? There she is. Hi, Jennifer. I can't hear you.
Hi. You can hear me okay?
I can now. So, welcome to Niagara. Where do you reside?
I live in Kitchener-Waterloo.
In Kitchener-Waterloo. Okay, well, you're pretty familiar with Niagara then. So
yes.
Anyway, welcome. Sorry we end up getting you a little bit late in the program. We talked a lot about your organization, mainly because Kevin Jack, who you've been talking about, preparing for this program, he is a member. He is a MENSA, as they say. So, just quickly, for people that, we've heard the MENSA word for eons. What is it? What is the MENSA organization?
Well, it's an organization for people whose IQ falls in the top 2% of the people in whatever country they're from. So it started off in England just after the war, and it was just an opportunity for people to get together and have a slightly different type of conversation than we normally have in our everyday lives.
And do you find that you do have those different conversations?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
And what happens at your annual gathering, which is why you're here at the Casablanca Hotel in Grimsby? What happens? What do you do?
Well, mostly it's for fun, which is most of what our organization is for. We don't one would hope that we would get together and solve the world problems, but in fact we just try to get together and enjoy each other's company. And so at the annual gathering we have speakers come, and we have a lot of delicious food and games and conversation and just hanging out with each other. We also officially run our annual general meeting, where we will elect our membership, our board that are helping us run the organization each year.
How many members does the organization have in Canada?
I'm not the perfect person to answer that. I'm going to say about 4,000, but perhaps only about half of those are active. We're quite small compared to other countries. In the United States and England, they have upwards of 40,000 members.
Now, do you have visitors from other countries come to your annual event?
Yes, indeed. Once you're a member of any MENSA, you can go and join events in any other country. I just need to get in contact with the local group, and they'll set you up, and you can just go to small events like to a pub or to even their huge annual gatherings. The American annual gathering each year has 2,500 attendees over 4 days.
Wow.
It's quite something.
Yeah. How many are attending this year here?
We have 117 signed up.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. We're quite proud of ourselves.
Yeah, good for you. Now, on the Saturday, there is the opportunity for the public to come and, in person, take the test, right?
That is correct. That is correct. If you go to our website at mensacanada.org, you can sign up at any time of the year to take the test. We're always happy to try and have people join us. And we are offering the test on the Saturday in Grimsby at the Casablanca Hotel at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Now, who makes up the test? Like, who tests the testers?
Yes, that's a very good question. So we have psychologists who decide amongst themselves internationally what test will be given. I myself often proctor tests, but I'm not involved in the testing, like the marking of it. So I'll just administer it to people, make sure they have pens and pencils and, take the test. Yeah. And then it's off to the office to actually mark it and confirm with them if they did have an IQ high enough to join.
Okay, like, is there a secret handshake or something you learn if you pass the test?
There is not, tragically, no.
So, and there is a cost, though, for the test.
Yes, we charge $90 Canadian to take the test, and that is going to be applied if you do get in to your first year of membership. So we sort of throw that in if you get in. It's about 10% of what you would pay a psychologist to administer an IQ test to you.
Okay, so why? I guess I just kind of answered my own question, but I was going to say, why is it not just called an IQ test?
Because we have called it that, and we would sort of say that just chatting, but because it is only given over a half an hour period, like the test only takes 10 to 20 minutes to write, depending on which one you take. We're hesitant to call it an official IQ test because if a psychologist gives you an IQ test, they'll do a much better job of assessing your IQ. So that's why we prefer to just call it the membership test, although I have been told by our psychologists that it's very accurate.
Kevin and I, when we were chatting, waiting for you a little bit earlier, because Kevin has knowledge, because he is one of these MENSA people, like you, is the fact that his feeling was that it tends to lean towards the STEM studies, like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Is it sort of weighted in that genre?
Not really, because it doesn't test knowledge. So it has a lot of this is to this, is that is to that. Like if you put a dog in a dog house, what would you put a cow in? So it's trying to test your ability to put concepts together. There's a lot of spatial manipulation of objects. So if you're turning a box with dots around 90 degrees, like what is it going to end up looking like next?
Oh, I see. Like a progression. What's next in the sequence?
Yes, there's a lot of that kind of thing too.
I used to love those sequence things.
Yeah, they are fun to do. And I mean, I've heard people say that if you had enough time with an average and above average type intelligence, you could get it 100% correct. But because it's timed, that's how it's able to determine your IQ. So It's not that the questions are really difficult. There's no rocket science, engineering type questions.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
It's not based necessarily on book learning.
Correct. Yeah. And people do get confused, especially when you see shows like Jeopardy call people geniuses, between having a very good memory and a vast amount of knowledge and IQ. They are not the same thing. Some individuals will have both. Some have very strong book learning skills, are great at pub trivia tests, or they have a high IQ and a poor memory. That can happen.
What were we going to say, Kev?
I was going to say, I remember for my testing experience, I only wrote the test the one time. It was I'd say testing skills and your ability to write tests came in handy because it is timed. So I knew a certain element of it was how many correct answers could you get in this amount of time. So when I realized I was running out of time, I could tell that in the test there was a bit of a sequencing to the kind of questions that they were asking. And I found that there were certain questions that I could answer quicker than the other ones. So if I just skipped ahead in the test and looked for those questions, I could probably bang off 6 of those in the remaining 60 seconds, whereas if I just went sequentially through the rest of the test, I might have only been able to answer 2 or 3 more.
That's correct. And we do advise, as a proctor, I do advise the people that are the candidates to practice. We have online practices because there is a kind of learning about how to take this kind of test.
Yeah, time management. Anytime you've got a timed test, I always felt such pressure when there was a timed test in any course or whatever. And I guess that's part of the plan, isn't it? Is to manage your time and manage the test itself.
And fundamentally, people with a strong IQ think faster. So that is what we're testing. Speed of thought.
Interesting.
Now, Jennifer, I'm looking forward to coming out to Casablanca Inn and squeezing in. It's a very busy weekend with our kids involved in all kinds of activities. But I want to squeeze out for something, maybe the gala event on Saturday night. But I don't know if you guys talked about this or not, but about the annual gathering, what it is, and kind of the other benefits that go along with being part of a nice social group like Mensa Canada.
Yeah, so exactly. So we are having a gala dinner on the Saturday night, and because it's at the Hotel Casablanca, we decided to show that movie on Saturday night, and that's why we themed it the magic and movies for that weekend.
That's what I was going to ask you. Why is the magic in movies the theme? Oh, there you go.
We just went with the Hotel Casablanca. We just went all out on their hotel, and so other advantages to joining the organization, aside from it being so highly social, we have the ability to do international travel and meet with Mensans who come to our country and go to other countries. And we have, literary contests, photograph contests. There's special interest groups that you can get together with others and so on. Fundamentally, though, I have to say it enables us to get together and just chat the way we normally think without anybody saying rude things to us like, oh, you think you're so smart, do you? And things like that, which can be difficult.
I'll bet you get a lot of that, eh?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Oh, well. Welcome to Niagara. We appreciate the business, that is for sure. And I hope you have a great time at Casablanca. And do you know what, or can you tell me what, before we let you go, what MENSA stands for? How did it become MENSA?
Yes, it's a Greek word that stands for round table. And so the idea is a group of people, all of the same level, no hierarchy, sitting around a table having conversation.
All right. So we got Socrates and Plato and all these dudes sitting around.
Yeah.
All right.
And for some reason, they asked me to join the table too. So I'm still scratching my head on that one. Like I said, I don't want to take the test twice.
Yeah. Jennifer Albu, thank you very much for joining us. And again, thanks for bringing your organization to Niagara. I hope you have a great stay here and everybody travels back home safely. June 22nd or 21st to 23rd, mensa.ca. That's the place to find you, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure to have a chance to get to talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay,
good day.
Bye. Interesting. Well, I know we covered a bit of that ground before, but it's great to meet her and hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. We have a band to play us off the stage in just a second. We'll tell you about that. But I want to thank, first of all, our sponsors again. Our premier sponsor is Gales Gas Bars Limited. Thank you for holding the fort with us for so long. Sandra's Home Health Care, Verge Insurance Group, Ace Alignment, Equal Wellness Services. Thanks for being here on this Season 5, Episode 13 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. And thank you all for your participation in this 411 family. Hadrian's Wall is the name of the band that is going to be playing us off the stage. The Niagara connection is Terry O'Farrell. Terry's a bass player and backup vocalist with the band.
And a pretty badass hockey player, too.
Okay, they're going to give us a rendition of their song "Glengarry to Maidstone." Coming right up. Have yourselves a great rest of the week and a fabulous weekend. Happy Father's Day, dads.
"6 p.m. London town, 747 just touched down. Now I get to see family that I haven't seen since the war. Churchill said to stay at home. Don't send your kids across the phone. When we went transatlantic 30 years ago, from Glengarry to Maidstone, how I've longed for the North Sea once more. I was young, you were scared. Our parents' love is beyond compare. There must have been an angel watching from up above. I worked hard, I became a man. Sometimes I cried trying to understand, but I'm older now. I have a family of my own. I'll never forget where I'm from. From Glengarry to Maidstone, from Glengarry to Maidstone, how I've longed for the North Sea once more, how I've longed to see my family once more.